name is Frank Biggs, and I'm with Moveable Adventures and Friends, which is a web page or blog page that I help hunters, basically in Oregon, do-it-yourself hunting based on getting GPS coordinates. Specialty is, of course, antelope, but I do deer, elk, bear, even did a few sheep. I've done some out-of-state stuff. For the most part, it's for Oregon hunters or people that want to hunt in Oregon. But today, I'm here to show a new bow sight that I just received, and I think it's state-of-the-art. It's from HHA Sports. It's the Optimizer. I'm taking it out of the package already, and it's a single pin movable sight. Most people don't realize, but for 9 years running with Bow Hunting World, it's been voted on by the readers of that particular periodical. 9 years in a row, they've been #1 selected movable sight. They've been around a long time. It's a very precision product, and I'm going to put it together today and make it simple. And I'm going to be putting it on my 2012 Martin Onza 3, which is the fastest bow I've ever had. I've been bow hunting for more years than I want to count, and it shoots around 340 feet per second. And the great thing about this particular sight, as I'm putting it together here in front of you, is that, how do I put it? I learned how to shoot a bow instinctively using, recurve bows, and when I was a kid, even did that, and I do believe that everybody should learn how to shoot a recurve bow, and, I'm a compound guy these days. I don't shoot recurve anymore, but I did learn how to shoot a bow instinctively, and I think it's the basis of archery. But when it comes to sights, we have lots of sights out there, 5 pin, 3 pin, 6 pins and that, and I've had them all. Well, not all of them. I shot one particular sight for 15 years because I knew the manufacturer and he was a personal friend here in Oregon. And so this last year I shot a different sight, but when it came down to making the critical shot that I did, I used one pin that I could see, and I estimated the yardage based on a 40-yard pin. So what's great about the Optimizer, I can have this set, if I'm doing spot and stalking, maybe I have it set at 40 yards. The bow is fast. I know what I can do with it, be able to judge. But if I'm in a tree stand and I know I've got a 25-yard object or setup, then I'm dialed in. Or if I know the deer stops and I've got time to set, I can set the exact precise yardage for the deer. So anyway, they make it simple here. You can do it old school like I've done, where you can put a piece of tape here as you see it, and you can mark the yardage, you shoot them. Or you can use a setup here, if you can see this, and you put that on there, and what you do is you sight it in for 20 yards and then 60, and you do some calculations, and you can put the proper tape, which is in here, based on the number. There's, I think, 45 of these with different yardage, so I can have it set clear out to 80 yards if the bow is fast enough. So anyway, I've put this two-part together, two screws here, and I'm going to put the other two, I'm going to mount it to the bow up here. So, very simple to do, and I think I'm going to mount the screw, pull this back a little bit. I'm playing with it. I sort of estimated by looking at my bow where I thought it should be. These are all Allen squared off screws. I used to Loctite everything, but nowadays, not anymore. I like, when I go in the field, I do make sure that I check all my screws on the wheels, where sights, quiver, everything, just to make sure. I always feel if there's a miss, it's operator error. It is not the bow or the equipment. I'm very excited to use this sight this year. I think it's going to be an attribute for me. But anyway, we got it up there on there. Now, another thing this company takes into account, and I really appreciate that, is that, I had a quiver on this bow, and, easy take off one in case I'm in a tree stand. I usually take the quiver off. So, anyway, they've given sleeves and stuff to be able to put this on easily. Of course, if I remembered my screws, or my screwdriver, that'd be great. Anyway, that's going to mount right up here. Hang on, I'm going to grab the screwdriver here. So you have to excuse me, that's pretty bad. Any other time I got a screwdriver in the kit. So, you use the old Army Swiss knife, right? That'll get me by for a little while. I'll just check it later. That's pretty embarrassing. I used to be a mechanic. Now today I'm here at my day job, which is a luxury RV salesman. Been doing that for about 12 years. I've been in the sporting goods business years ago. This is a nice gig to have late in life. You sell fun. So we know hunting and fishing is fun, and I'd have to say 50% of my customers that come in here to buy an RV, they all hunt or fish. Amazing. Alright, so that's set there. Now what I'll do is put this tape on here. What that'll do is allow me to push this down a little ways so I can get in there. Pretty easy to do. Might as well go with the system, right? I do believe in technology. These guys have it figured out at HHA Sports, HHA. The guys at HHA Sports have it figured out. Anyway, so I just take it out in the field and go from there. So I'm going to set it here in the middle. So that's about all there is to it. And it's easy, to set the windage on the scope. And this is a Bow Boss. Alright, so very simple to do, and I think I'm going to mount the screw, pull this back a little bit. I'm playing with it. I sort of estimated by looking at my bow where I thought it should be. These are all Allen squared off screws. I used to Loctite everything, but nowadays, not anymore. I like, when I go in the field, I do make sure that I check all my screws on the wheels, wherever sights, quiver, everything, just to make sure. I always feel if there's a miss, it's operator error. It is not the bow or the equipment. I'm very excited to use this sight this year, and it's going to be an attribute for me. But anyway, we got it up there on there. Now, another thing this company takes into account, and I really appreciate that, is that I had a quiver on this bow, and easy take off one in case I'm in a tree stand. I usually take the quiver off. So anyway, they've given sleeves and stuff to be able to put this on easily. Of course, if I remembered my screws, or my screwdriver, that'd be great. Anyway, that's going to mount right up here. Hang on, I'm going to grab the screwdriver here. I have to excuse me, that's pretty bad. Any other time I got a screwdriver in the kit. So you use the old Army Swiss knife, right? Now I can buy it for a little while. I'll just check it later. That's pretty embarrassing. I used to be a mechanic. Now today I'm here at my day job, which is a luxury RV salesman. Been doing that for about 12 years. I've been in the sporting goods business years ago. This is a nice gig to have late in life. You sell fun. So we know hunting and fishing is fun, and I'd have to say 50% of my customers that come in here to buy an RV, they all hunt or fish. Amazing. That's pretty good for right now. All right, so that's set there. Now what I'll do is put this tape on here. What that'll do is allow me to push this down a little way so I can get in there. Pretty easy to do. Might as well go with the system, right? I do believe in technology. These guys that have it figured out at HHA Sports, HHA. The guys at HHA Sports have it figured out. Anyway, I just take it out in the field and go from there. So I'll just set it here in the middle. So that's about all there is to it. And you know, it's easy, to set the windage on the scope. And I want to thank you for watching my video today on how to install the optimizer sight by HHA Sports. It was pretty easy to do, wasn't it? They make it easy with making sure you got every screw and sleeve that you need to mount it. And I'm looking forward to shooting this here in the next couple days and getting it sighted in, which will be part of this video. And it's a pleasure to shoot it, and it is on, see, it's a really nice setup, the black and everything. So let's go outside and have some fun with this and get it tweaked in, and I'm waiting for the 2013 deer season and elk season. Thank you. Hi, this is Bwana Bubba of Bwana Bubba Adventures and Friends. And this afternoon, I'm out here at the property that we do a little bow hunting for blacktails here in the Willamette Valley. And I'm going to be sighting in my HHA optimizer sight. This is a single pin unit, and it is on a pendulum system here, movable. And I'm going to sight it in at 20, then I'm going to check at 40, and then we're going to go to 60. And they have a tape on the side here. Hopefully you can see that. And what you do is you sight in for 20. When you finally get to 60, you'll have a number, subtract it, and that'll tell you what tape to put on here for your yardage based on your bow and your arrow. So let's get her done, and let's get her into 20. Now I've kind of preliminary set it here, and we'll see how close I am at the 20. Hopefully I can hit the target and go from there and move on. Thank you.
Dead center, beautiful shot.
Am I not lucky? Let's see if that was luck or that was skill and I happened to set the sight correctly. I love it.
Dead center.
High.
Dead center. Yep. High into the center, I believe. Stacked them, still to the right.
All right, well, I've shot at 60 yards, and it looks like I got the right elevation. I'm a little off to the right, which I overcompensated at 40 yards. So I'll probably bring them, I'm gonna shoot a few more arrows, but the significant part is this tape part here. Hopefully you got that in focus. We're at 47, and at 20 yards we were at 8. So subtract that, let's say, well, that'd be 39. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go find the 39 tape that would adhere to here. So hang on, everybody. All right, you see this tape here? We use this for setup. All right, now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna lay the other one over there for right now. All right, that's a little stiffer tape, but I wanna make sure I get the right, exactly with the other tape. All right, I'm gonna bring it down. And that was pretty close. It says 56 here, but I'd say I was pretty close. And you know, I have the bow turned down about probably 3 pounds or so. I'm shooting right at 69, and a little later I'll move up to 70. So I have time for adjustments in that. But let's see what happens when I go back out and I leave it at this yardage and see what we get. But 39, maybe it should have been more like the 40 tape. But I can always check that out. But this is pretty cool, and let's see what happens.
Come to your left on your next shot. High but center.
Well, this is the last arrow shot. I'm a little bit high, getting a little bit tired out there, and running back and forth, pulling arrows. But windage is close. I'm going to stick with the elevation here because I'd had about 3 or 4 other arrows that were right at the 60-yard mark there. So I'm very satisfied. It's easy to see the target, of course, through the sight. You know, I'm able to get a full field of view, and that's one of the key things with the H&H Optimizer sight, is I'm able to see the target, let's say the game animal, and keep everything in perspective and pinpoint the pin, which is, you know, fiber optic, onto the chest cavity where it belongs. And I love it. All right, I had told you to use 39 tape because I've subtracted the 20 from the 60. I was off by 2. I knew better when I put the 55 on there. I was shooting high on 60 yards. So after recalculating, the proper tape is 37. Now you can see the stud is still at 60. Double checking on the tape underneath. When I was at 8, that's right at the 20. It says I can shoot out 70, but there's still some room. Though, because this bow is so fast, I'll probably be able to calculate that out to probably 80 yards. But it's kind of nice to be pinpointed at 70. That's probably far enough shot. I love this optimizer. It is the finest sight that I've ever had on my bows. I'll be sure to put it on the rest of them. This is what it looks like through the optimizer sight. I mean, you gotta love it. That is something else.